Welcome to Sheila Lives Out Loud. I'm Sheila Monyege, thrilled you're on this channel. Please remember to click subscribe and hit notifications so you never miss an episode. And we're counting down to an all-new Season 7, but before that starts, we're taking a look back at conversations that inspired us to live, love and grow. On this episode of My Motivate, Susan Wahundonga shares on how human error caused a fatal inferno in a matatu she was traveling in. Tell us about what happened. Where were you going or where were you coming from?
Well, my mom had just dropped me on the stage and I was going to buy chicken. So she's like, you have to go buy chicken. I'm like, okay. So are you taking me? She's like, no, I'm dropping you and then you'll take a job. I'm like, okay. And she drops me. I get into the matatu and it's just nom at the back. I sit, continue picking people on the stage and more until excess. You know how matatus are,
Yeah.
excess. And then after, like, how many kilometers after I got into the matatu, it didn't move so far away. It just like picked 3 people or like 3 stages and then people just stopping in and it got to a point where the matatu is excess. And all I remember, it was just a loud sound, boom. And at my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, what is happening? And it was so hot. I'm like, what? So in my head, I'm like, okay, I hear screams, I heard a bang, but my mind is still, trying to, I was just asking myself, what is happening?
The thought of an accident doesn't exist in your mind because it doesn't happen to people you know?
For me, it was just, wait a minute, what is that? It's people screaming. And then when I was now back to, and I'm like, damn, there's fire. And now in my head, I'm like, where has the fire come from? People stepping on me and, they're trying to, because this is what happened, the fire, rather, it started from the batteries. You know how matatus are?
Yeah.
Behind, there's some batteries. So it's people shouting and I'm like, it's too hot, I can't breathe. And I'm like, whoa, it's hot air. And trust you me, hot air is just, you can't breathe. So I had a jacket, I had on a dress, and I had like an extra. So what I did immediately, I blocked my nose because of the fumes. Because one of the people, several people who died because of the internal.
The inhalation,
Yeah.
and then so it burns.
So for me, it was like inhaling, I peep, and what I did, after now I realized, no, this is fire. I can't get out. I saw a dude trying to get out by the exit of the door. And when he was running, because now the matatu had stopped already, when he's running, but flames because of clothes, they're coming out of him. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not going to do that. There's no way I'm going to jump out of, because for him, he thought, now this is the end of us. Or I'm thinking in his head, he was like, it's going to blow up maybe because the fire was too hot. It broke the windows. It's trying. So the matatu, we are covered by fire.
Yeah.
I chuchuma chini. So I'm like, oh my God, what is that? I peep, and I'm like, no. I peep, and I'm like, no, it's too hot. I see the guy running. I'm like, no. People are stepping on me because I'm tiny. Because for me, I laid down. I was like, no. So there was this one dude who broke the emergency door, the one behind there. And he tries to break it. I'm still down. I'm still watching whatever he's doing. People are coming behind because it's too hot at the front. Now at that point, people had started pouring water, and then they were told you're not supposed to.
Yeah, it just fuels the fire.
Yeah, it just it makes it even worse because the story was someone. Now later, when it all happened, the story was someone got into the matatu with a jerrycan of petrol and placed it just next to the batteries. That's so ignorant and all that, but I'm like...
So it wasn't an accident.
No.
It was just somebody being careless.
Yes.
In a matatu.
With a jerrycan of petrol. Place it on the battery, and for in this case, the batteries are supposed to be always inside. There's a way the matatus these days are. But now this one was external, so that's why it's the flames.
Yeah, sparked everything and it blew up.
And it was boom. So people trying to come at them. That was like a scramble. It's like they are coming behind, but we can't chomoka all of us. It's chaos.
It's almost survival for the fittest. And you wonder, am I going to survive?
So for me, that's why I preferred to just go down, and I'm like, I peep, I wake up a little bit, and then I cover my hand. I'm like, because for me, my face was like, no way, there's no way my face is gonna. And unfortunately, I still got burns on my face, on my hand, on my 2 legs here behind. For me, I tell even my friends, it's like my world stopped for a minute because I couldn't contemplate what is happening. It's too hot. Like, how did all this happen? So I'm just there. I pay my dues. I'm like, okay, if this is how it's gonna end. Well, so be it. Immediately finished saying that, I open up my eyes and I see, the windows, how they just...
Yeah, they open this way, right.
So I'm like, whoa, okay. Maybe I can fit there. And if my head can fit there, maybe, I don't know. So immediately I saw the window, I was like...
You jumped out
I jumped. Well. So when I jump on the other side, I hit, because the bus is high. I hit my shoulder, but on the other side, no, there's a guy who's trying to pull me because the space is still, so it's like a struggle. Tight. So I got the marks that's behind my legs.
Because of the fire. So the fire got your legs as you were being pulled outside.
Yeah. So I get out, I'm on fire, I'm like, adrenaline, it hits me, I'm shouting, I'm like, I just almost died. Here's the funny part. I told you I felt like my world stopped, and I was thinking so fast. So at my mind, I was thinking, I am among the last people to like get out. So I get out, and the guy's like trying to calm me down. Like, calm down, madam, see what you just... So I try and look wherever I'm like, what? No, the fire even continued, like,
It spread very quickly.
Yes, and the woman who did, after I chomoked, there's a woman who tried to do the same. So she saw me jump, I think, when she was inside. Yeah. So for her, when she tried to jump, she got stuck. So all of her, like, I don't know if she has boobs right now because she was told they have to be cut off once all that was done. And we started going for therapy with her. She was among the people, the healing process now. So for her, alikuwa hapo. So it's a hassle. Kwa jaribu kumtoa hivi anachomeka miguu. Kujaribu ukimvuta, and she's fat and she just got stuck there. But people tried, and finally she got out. Burnt very badly her legs, and it was crazy.
The recovery process, you've made mention of it several times. Yeah. What was that like? Who was walking with you? Who stepped in to help all of you? Or was it something you all figured out as a group of survivors?
It reached a point where now everyone had to go their own ways. Because as much as we are coming to the group, you're battling when you go home, like, because most of the people were parents, like they're adults. So if you go home, you have your own challenge, I don't know, probably your children, or everyone handled their situation differently. So it reached a point where we didn't meet anymore. We were like, I hope, we like wished everyone the best, and we just parted ways. Because as much as we would want to like even build up a case or go, like, where was this guy with a jerrycan of petrol? It reached a point and he was like, nah, do I really want to do this? Nah. So we talk, but it wasn't like, no, that meeting, it just reached a point, some just really got to them so much. They just was like, it's like your life just upside down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after a while, we parted ways. The healing points, well, the process, I lost a lot of friends. Because now my face, you can imagine, because I stayed in hospital for like how months? It was 4.
4 months?
4 months straight up, medicine, pain, being washed, being taken. You can't do anything. 4 months is just like, for me, it sounded like and even after that, the recovery process, for me, it happened in 2015. It has taken me like how many years? 3 years even for me to talk like this, even without some tears trying to pop
I'm
up.
loving how strong you are.
I remember I tried going outside. I was like, okay, since I'm healing, let me try and just go out of the estate, go buy some credit and then come back. And human beings can be so mean. So part of my face, it looked like I had bleached, or I don't know, my birthmark was not, I have birthmark. So part of it wasn't even there, so it looks like I bleached and then it backfires. So I remember I'm walking, and then you know how boda guys are always on a corner. So I'm waiting for the matatu so that I can cross on the other side. And one says, "Hey, ati ebu cheki huyu ni kama," now he says, I tried to bleach and it backfired.
And that's the thing about things that we don't understand. Anything we see or perceive to be different from what we know always becomes the subject of ridicule, number one, or fascination, or just a combination of both. But in terms of losing friendships, why was that? What do you think spurred that? Is it that you had very many fake friends who were all about superficial, or what happened?
Well,
Where did they go? Why do you think you lost friends?
I really, not, okay, they lost me because I really shut
Snap.
down. I shut down, and I'm imagining if they were really my friends, they would have, tried and tried and tried and tried. But for me, I was like, I cut everyone out. And as much as I did that, I needed to do that for my healing process because I was like, my face, for me, it was not even my hand. It was just like, oof.
You
And
just didn't look like who you knew you were.
exactly. I hated mirrors. I had to make all in our house. There was no mirror around. I was like, how we go down the stairs. I'm like, hey, mom, this mirror. They had to like really unscrew them, and for a while I was like, I can't. But with time and just acceptance, because now it reached a point. I'm like, fine, it happened. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna just sit in my room, read books, or see what people are doing out there with their lives. I have to find a way of moving back
And living your life, because there are things that you have to achieve.
Exactly.
And you're still here. There are things that life needs you to see and do.
yeah. So for me, it was more of a decision I had to make. And first things first, I'm a firstborn. So as much as I could have felt weak, or I didn't want them to see me like that. So for me, for them, they motivated me. My brother, oh God, he used to come to my room. I'm like, I don't want to see anybody. He's like, no, open. I'm like, he's like, he brings food.
Good man.
He's like, no, by the way, it's healing. He's like, you're just lying, but it's healing. And I'm like,
You can't see it.
I can't see,
right.
and especially for my face. But I thank God because the doctors, my dad, and especially my dad, he really did his best bringing doctors even from India because of my face. Because it was gross, it looked like it's not even gonna heal, it's peeling,
Right. It was just difficult.
Through all this time, if there's something that I really held on, was God. God really came through for me. He is still coming through for me because I wouldn't be here if it was not for him. So for me, it really came through. I was still born again even before the accident. But now, even more after the accident, I was really like, whoa, that was God giving me a second chance. And he doesn't do that very oftenly because for me, even seeing that window, it was like magic because I remember I'm like a window, and I'm like, I didn't even think twice because the heat was so...
It was intense.
Yes.
But you're here today, and you're setting off into the great unknown with purpose and a passion and a God who loves you. So I think you're going to be just fine.
I will be just fine.
For those who are recovering, somebody could be watching this and they're really going through it and they don't think anybody understands.
Yeah.
But you've been there and you know what that's like. What would you like to say to them to encourage them?
You have to find it within yourself to really say, you know what, it happened. It's okay. Accept it. Find a way of moving. Find something you like doing. Like for me, I started I write a lot. So I was just writing and I started giving myself a chance. I was like, no, I had to work on me. So even if you're going through something, you won't expect courage to come from your mother. Your mom will just tell you the normal stuff and she'll encourage you, but it's an inside job. You have to really find it within yourself to say, you know what, Susan, it happened. I have to move on. And find people, or like for me, I really shut down people, which was okay. It was just my way of handling it. But if now that I know better, I wouldn't have not allow them. Don't enclose yourself so much. Allow people to help you. Allow people to ask you questions because I used to get so agitated. I'm like, so what happened? I'm like,
I don't
got
want to go
tired.
through it over and over and over again.
It's okay, and it's a healing process also. That talking about it, I didn't realize it, but the more I found it comfortable telling it to people, the more I didn't even cry, the more I didn't even feel like, oh, I'm reliving it over again. So with time and talking about it, share, and
It loses its power over you.
yes, and it's funny because now when